You're listening to Band Practice with Matthew and Krebs. Rock out with your cock out.
It's time for a quickie.
Okay, so there's a general topic of conversation I've had with like a number of friends, and every time I have this conversation, it gets better and better and better. So now it's Matt's turn. I was thinking about cartoons, like the cartoons that we grew up with, and even the ones like came before us that we were watching on like reruns and stuff, like Looney Tunes and and Disney and all that. There's something about them that they were perfect. And I don't even know if they were like intended to be perfect, but like. For instance, Elmer Fudd was trying to kill Bugs Bunny. As a kid, you kind of knew that, but you didn't know that you knew that. But you just kind of like accepted that. Like the idea of death was like right there the moment you were ready to accept it.
Tom and Jerry were trying to eat each other the whole time.
Yeah.
And Wile E. Coyote he was trying to drop anvils on
I don't even think he wanted to eat him. He just hated him with a passion, and we accepted that. We accepted like. And all these like weird things, it introduced these ideas to us as kids, but they didn't bother you because you weren't developed enough to understand them. But once you got older, if you watch them now, like they hold up so well. They're still funny. They're still great. And I think in many ways they kind of made us almost more tolerant because we saw Bugs Bunny in drag and we didn't think twice about it. Like,
he's doing a thing.
Yeah.
No big deal.
That's fine. Some dudes wear lipstick. That's fine. Who cares? But then I noticed there's before I go there, I was thinking about just the great cartoons like when we were kids, like Land Before Time. His grandmother fucking dies, but like they go on and like, but it's sad. We felt sad.
Same thing like Bambi. Bambi opens up and
bitch gets shot first scene.
First thing right off the bat.
Yeah, and then we moved on and like you meet and like, and I think like even like his mother dying. Meeting his dad was like so cool. It was like filled in that gap that he needed, like of a parent or something. Like, it was great, and they even touched on the topic of like puberty.
Huh.
When what was it called? Whoever hearing this is gonna like get annoyed because there was like a term they had because all the animals like started getting horny and like hooking up.
And there was heat.
Yeah, but there was like a word for it in the cartoon. And I can't remember it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Fuck, it's gonna bug me. But yeah, and then there was, did you ever see The Secret of Nim?
No.
Oh, it's one of my all-time favorite, it's Disney, animated movies. And it was like, it was about these rats that like underwent, all these experiments and then they were either released or escaped and they were living on this farm, but they were highly intelligent and there was magic involved. But every so often, like the lawnmower would come and like, take out half of them or something.
Oh shit!
And they're trying to find like the secrets of this magic. And so this little mouse goes to like an owl, and she's walking walking into the tree where the owl lives. And there's like all these like rat skeletons. So like she's aware that owls eat her kind. But she like talks to the owl, and the owl like has this gives her some advice or something, and then progresses the story. But like death was there, and the entire tone of it. I mean, even just physically, the tone of it was very dark, but it wasn't overwhelmingly dark. I'm trying to think of some other great cartoons, like
not a cartoon, but Pee-wee's Playhouse, like.
Oh yeah,
there was dirty jokes all over that shit.
All over it.
And I'm like looking back as a kid, I didn't even realize it. I thought it was just a fun show. But I was rewatching it recently. It's on Netflix or Amazon Prime, one of the two. And I was rewatching it, and there's this one gag specifically like has stuck with me. The chicks, I guess some chick's coming over and she's wearing this big dress. So Pee-wee runs over to his
I can
toy
picture
box.
her right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he pops open the toy box and he puts on his mirror shoes. And it's basically shoes with a fucking rear view mirror attached to it. And he keeps getting close to her and trying to shove his feet under her dress and look in the mirror. And she looks over and she's like, Pee-wee, what are you doing? I'm just trying to see your undies. And she looks over and she's like, ha ha, joke's on you. I'm not wearing any.
I think I actually remember that episode.
Like, what the fuck? I didn't catch that as a kid.
And we're not even saying that that's okay, but like we didn't notice that. Like,
yeah.
We didn't need to be sheltered from that. And then How was
Animaniacs was pretty stout.
and okay. Anyone listening, go to YouTube and look up all the dirty jokes. There's I think 12 to 15-minute video of just every single dirty joke that was ever done in Animaniacs, and I probably as a kid caught maybe 3 of them. And this is 15 minutes worth. And I'll just give you like my favorite.
Didn't they only have like 2 seasons?
I think so. Like it didn't last long, but it was like we're still talking about it right now.
Yeah.
But my favorite joke ever is there's a scene where they like stumble on a crime scene or something, and so one of them like puts on like a Sherlock hat and like coat and stuff, and he goes, all right, so we need to we need to fingerprints, and then you look over at Dot and she's holding Prince, actual Prince.
Oh, actual Prince. Oh,
The musician. And then he goes, no, dust for Prince. And she goes, oh, okay, and throws him out a window. Like, she's just talking about fingering Prince's asshole in front of us, and we didn't catch it at all. At all. And then, like, there's even the racist stuff that like, nobody, that, like, we as kids didn't catch. Like, Looney Tunes and Disney, like, all had racist, seriously, like, racist characters like Foghorn Leghorn. He was called a chicken hawk. Like, that's what he was. And that was right there. And I think I forget if it was
Speedy Gonzalez. Well, I don't know if that's. I guess it's semi-racist. Well, at least it's stereotype.
I always wonder, like, was he fast because he's trying to cross the border? Or like that.
Oh.
I'm asking. I'm not saying. I'm asking. But like as an adult, I'm asking because I didn't think about it as a kid.
Yeah.
But I forget if it was Disney or Warner Bros. But like, they were still airing their old cartoons for the longest time, and even the racial ones. And they would have like a warning or like a caption beforehand, where they would say something like, it would say the following has racially motivated characters. We understand this may be like offensive for the times we're in, but they are from a different time and a period, and to delete this or edit it would be to act as if these things never happened. So, which honestly I think is probably like the best way you actually handle that stuff, because at the time when they made it, it was funny. To me, it's still funny. But
Yeah, I think it's funny as hell still. I don't care.
yeah, and if anyone's like upset or offended by it, then you get to tell them a story about how much we sucked back then, because in many ways we did. But before we move on, I just wanted to mention fucking Cowboy Curtis.
Oh, Cowboy Curtis? Oh, from Pee-wee's Playhouse?
I did not want to leave here and not mention fucking Morpheus with Jerry Curl. Like, although I will say that, like, I think Pee-wee's Playhouse somehow almost prepared me for Paul Rubens going to jail for jerking off, like, in a theater. like I didn't know. Like, I feel like he was preparing me for that, but didn't know he was. Because, like, I remember hearing that, like, later on, and I think we were, like, what, teens or 20s? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I kind of see, like,
yeah. You know,
although he would be saved if the internet had been a thing back then, he'd be at home jerking off.
Yeah, right?
Poor bastard.
Well, you know what's funny about the whole thing?
What?
After the Me Too, Weinstein, and all that bullshit, I saw a meme with his picture as like the only celebrity that keeps his hands to himself.
Yeah. And then he like, and I forget if he went to jail or almost went to jail for like child porn. And then I went, okay, now you've lost me.
Did he really?
Yeah. But then I looked it up. I actually read about it, and it's not what what it seemed. It was he's a collector of like antique porn, of like artifacts. He's got really old artifacts. He's got old
artifacts.
Well, he
like how long ago did they?
Peep show frames.
Okay,
he's got, but some of it like is really old, but like had people in it that seemed underage, but you couldn't really prove it because it was so old. So technically, it might be child porn.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if it was child porn, he'd still be in jail.
Yeah.
But he's not in jail. But like that's like again, I'm glad the internet is the thing now, because I could go learn about that and go be like, oh wait, it's cool that I watched Pee-wee's Playhouse back in the day. Like, I don't feel bad about that anymore. But
but kids cartoons today. Bring it back to cartoons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like the kids' cartoons today.
They've gotten kind of like progressively
pussified.
I was gonna say what's a nice way of saying pussier, but yeah, let's just go there. Yeah.
Pussified.
And it's
Bunch of soft motherfuckers running around.
well, it started with like Batman the animated series, which by the way is still holds up. It was only like a couple seasons, but it's fucking great. Kevin Conroy, voice of Batman, like he came back to do the Killing Joke with Mark Hamill, who had also retired from being the Joker. Yeah. It's amazing. It's like, did you know that Mark Hamill could do voice work till you like saw his name in the credits? No. Like he does a fucking amazing Joker. Like my favorite Batman from that series is actually where Batman isn't actually in it. It's Joker who was driving a car and a guy cut him off, and so he spends 30 minutes tormenting this guy for no other reason than for cutting him off. It's so fucking good. But I saw like I think like the original like airings of maybe the first or second episode of that series, and there's a scene where Batman throws Joker up against the wall and like blood's coming out of his mouth, which if you got your ass kicked and thrown up against the wall, you would kind of expect that, right? But then they showed like the frame next to it, and they just like took out the blood, because I'm sure there's some producer or some censor who's like, well, kids don't need to see blood, and
either that or red ink is really expensive.
You know what? That show was all in black, so maybe you might not be wrong.
Production cost, bro.
But then the Spider-Man animated series came out, and I loved that until fucking Crack.com ruined it for me, because I don't even remember the title of
how they ruined it for you.
The article, but it was they just shared a piece of information I did not catch when I was younger, but then once I heard it, I couldn't unknow it, which was nobody ever punches anybody in that animated series.
What?
A punch is never fucking thrown. He'll like web swing into somebody. There's like energy blasts. There's a scene where like I think Venom like has him like sort of webbed up, like all his limbs webbed up, and he's like holding him like over traffic. And I'm like thinking about it now as an adult. I'm like, Spider-Man would be fine. Even if the webs break, he's going to shoot his own webs and, like, swing away. But there were no punches thrown because the censors said, well, kids don't need to see punches. I'm sorry. I watched Bugs Bunny punch the shit out of Elmer Fudd with, like, snow around, and it's still one of the funniest things I've ever fucking seen. Like,
yeah.
and so I don't get why they were, like, trying to coddle kids, because I think you make kids more tolerant in a way, because I remember Bugs Bunny cartoons. Elmer Fudd wanted to kill Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny put on fucking makeup and dress, and we didn't question it. Yeah, dude just likes to wear drag. Well, it's fine. Like I think it made us more tolerant when we were ready to like you know, understand that information. And then you fast forward a little bit to fucking Pokemon, and I've got nothing against Pokemon. I played it in high school only because I had an old science book that I hollowed out. Ew. And I needed to kill time, so I hollowed it out, and I put a Game Boy in there. I caught all 151, and I gave up and never played again. So I'm not shitty in Pokemon.
I've only ever played Pokemon Go, so I'm not really vested. And even then, I only played for like a month or two.
I played for 1 hour. I downloaded it because all my friends were. I was walking around my neighborhood, and I went, I'm fucking 33. Fuck this. I just never touched it again. But like, if you think about it, like Pokemon, like it might be a good cartoon. There's conflict, there's whatever going on. There's struggle. There's you know, overcoming obstacles. But they don't even fight their own damn battles. Like they make this little animal in front of them do it. Like they yell at this thing and then they do it. Like
it's not a thing. It's a Pokemon.
Like how far from actual conflict can you get, and still accomplish? Yu-Gi-Oh has cards.
Well,
like,
they're, you know what Pokemon is?
What?
It's getting the next generation ready for proxy wars.
That's how you train the future drone bombers?
Yeah. Proxy wars, bro.
That's a dark theory that I cannot disprove. That's not a bad idea. Damn it, I hadn't thought of that shit.
I'm an idea man.
So, yeah, I don't know. I guess the point is like, you know, how much do you actually have to really shelter your kids? Because
kids absorb everything, but I think there's a difference between absorbing it and just repeating it. Like, okay, you don't like. My brother and sister-in-law get mad because I'll curse in front of the kid, and then the kid repeats me. The kid doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't know what that word means. Like, if he repeats the word I say, like if I say fuck in front of him and he says fuck, he's going to be lucky if he uses it in context, like in a sentence where it makes sense. And he doesn't even know what the word means. He just knows that it's some kind of adjective thing. I mean, although it's a pretty diverse word.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But the kid doesn't know what it is. He has no idea.
Actually, Jason...
Just like we were talking about, like how you missed all those dirty jokes. The kids, they don't know because they missed the shit. It blows over their head. They may repeat it, but they don't know what the hell's going on.
And if it's actually a problem, like the kids will kind of tell you. There was I took a child psychology course, I think 01, 02, and at FIU, and obviously I'm not an expert, but just the idea in that one course that my teacher had like relayed to me seemed pretty profound and kind of made sense, which was like when do you start covering up your kid and never letting them either be naked or when do you stop letting them letting you see them naked? When they start to cover up, like when they react to something emotionally or physically, that's when you start paying attention. If they're just parroting, I don't think you need to be worried. By the way, Jason and Giselle's kid has just discovered Goddammit, and it's the fucking cutest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. We were playing D&D last weekend, and he's playing Crash Bandicoot, and he can't get over like the same jump over and over again. Also, it really sucks watching a little kid play a game you've already beaten because you just want to like throw the kid away and go, "I got this, son." But he just keeps going, God damn it," and we have to not laugh.
So you don't encourage him
and just stay there. And we're trying to substitute it with Dolce and Gabbana. I don't know. I don't know why.
How did that come about?
I don't know. But that's what we're trying to do, and I refuse. I'll just pick a different word. But yeah, I don't know. But I think we had a point. Well, I don't know. Well, although cartoons are getting a little bit better. I've watched.
Okay, adult cartoons have always been cartoons aimed at a mature audience have always been pretty good. And I think they've gotten better, but kids' cartoons have gotten worse.
Yeah, but these kids are gonna grow up and not had good cartoons.
That's a travesty.
And then you get like an entire generation obsessed with anime. And listen, and listen, I got nothing against anime as a style. It's done really well. It's awesome. Fucking Trigon, Escaflowne. Cowboy Bebop, and I was watching Attack on Titan's pretty good because it's creepy as fuck.
Let's be real. How many of those do you actually purposefully sit down and watch on like planned on purpose?
I've never watched anime on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things.
It got it got badgered on me.
For you, you're like, okay, you sit down and it's on. You're gonna watch it. For me, I'm just not gonna turn the TV on, especially for that shit.
There is some really good stuff.
No, man, because and then it's like, okay, the only example I know of is Dragon Ball Z because it was the only thing I watched. So you have, this huge fight that lasts like half a fucking season, like 12 episodes.
One fight,
and the whole time they're like, I finally made Super Saiyan, and this one's like, I made Ultra Mega Super Saiyan.
At this point, you've forgotten what that even means.
And I'm like, I'm not really sure what's going on. And then one of them has 10 minutes of inner dialogue while they're staring at each other, like in this weird cartoon stare down where like nothing's moving.
Yeah.
Like
the inner
what
dialogue,
the fuck?
The inner dialogue I kind of understand to a point because they're sharing their thoughts about this thing they're struggling with or fighting. And I could see being somebody younger and watching that going, hey, I struggle with that too. I mean, I do it in the lunchroom, and not fighting a Dragon Ball. I don't know. I don't watch. I don't know what it is. But so I get you get to connect with the character. But when I watch it, like I was done connecting 5 minutes ago. Will you fucking punch something? Because like you've lost me. And at this point, I don't know why you're still talking. And I think you were whining about that last episode too. Why are you still whining about this? I don't understand. Were these kids not given comic books? Because I was given comic books, and it was the same thing. You had inner dialogue, but you could read it at a faster rate.
Yeah.
And then there was action, and if you read that comic before, you could go, oh, okay, I know your inner dialogue, I know your inner turmoil. Wow, that word sucks. Can I just like see the scene where fucking Nick Fury blows that guy's head off? Like that's all I want. You can flip the page faster. But I was watching Attack on Titan. And it's the same thing about, oh, my friends are dying. Yeah, they do that every episode. How are you not used to that yet? I'm used to it. I don't get it. And maybe this is how you get kids who are so obsessed with how they feel and think. Is it so important?
Feelings are important, bro.
Not outside of your own head. You cannot go to jail, not yet, not till Bernie Sanders gets elected. Can you go to jail for hurting someone's feelings?
I'm pretty sure that won't happen even if he does get elected because I'm still going to have a gun.
You need to get your feelings hurt, though. We needed to watch Bambi die because
Yeah.
then we appreciated like when his father showed up, like after his entire growth.
And what about an Old Yeller?
I had to go Old Yeller. That's
Yeah,
just
Old Yeller.
sad.
That was
That's
sad.
just downer. But like
That was great,
That's
though.
not even just
That's one
growing-
that was one of my favorite things growing up. I love that movie.
That's not even growing up though. That's like growing up and you got to do things nobody's got to do. Nobody's got to put down a loved one.
And they catch a disease, and it's like, oh, I guess I got to pull the plug.
Although that would not be a bad thing to learn for I'd say a lot of people that I personally know, and probably a lot of people in this generation. You might love a thing, you got to put it down though sometimes. You've got to let go. It's not good for you. Wow. Like all these really, really old lessons that are just not being taught today. What the
Not at
fuck?
all.
What the fuck?